Okay, so this is me showing off this recycled plastic extruder I built. I built it out of this Ryobi 18-volt electric caulk gun, and then I just took standard gas plumbing fixtures and a 380-watt heater band from Amazon, and it's just some basic hardware that you can find at any Home Depot. Washer there to keep it in place, and then wired it in to a solid state relay controlled by a PID controller that's keeping it at the melt temperature of the plastic. And now when I do this, it extrudes molten HDPE plastic. So this is the first test. So this is kind of, you can see there are bits in there that are not melted, but it works. And over here, if I put this down, these are some pieces that I made just a second ago. There's that. And then this one, I squirted the plastic into this piece of hardware that was threaded to see if I could make a threaded part. I'm not actually taking it out to see if that assumption worked, but let's see what we can do here. So needs a little bit more pressure, but you get the idea. Just by squirting it into a piece of hardware, you can make a plastic fitting that fits whatever hardware you have. And that's the thing about plastic, is you can mold it into literally any shape. So this is just a first test, but what I'm trying to do is make a plastic extruder that is extremely accessible. You can build one of these with like a drill attachment so that it will feed more continuously. This one just has a volume of plastic that is equal to about the volume of this barrel, which is not very much, but it's enough for small part injection molding, and it's enough for heat welding. So you can like weld fittings and tubes and whatever onto polyethylene tanks, for example, or you could weld two pieces of polyethylene together. And since these are detachable, these bits right here, you can have one that's dedicated, for example, to high density polyethylene, and then you could switch it out for a tube that is always ready for polypropylene, because typically what will happen is when you cool it down, some will melt in the tip, and you can't really get it out unless you heat it up again. So it's best to just keep one tube dedicated to one plastic, because they're really hard to clean. This makes that very easy, which means that with very little work, you can be extruding in high-density polyethylene, low-density polyethylene, and polypropylene. And this machine, if you already have a Ryobi battery set, this thing costs $29 at Home Depot. I already had the batteries. If you have to buy the batteries new, they're $30 or $40, I think. But this was $30. This hardware was less than $10 in the plumbing section. The band heater was $12 on Amazon, and the solid state relay was $10, and the PID was about $20. So all in all, even with new parts, this comes in at about less than $100. And it's a really easy way to start working with recycled plastic and see how easy it is to start making small things. So now the journey begins to figure out what we can actually make out of this, because it's a whole lot, but we kind of got to get creative. So check it out, and if you want to build one, let me know if you have any questions, and I can post better documentation later. But here you see the PID connections in the back. There's a temperature sensor, an output from the controller that's controlling this relay, and then just AC power in, and then that's controlling on the other side this switch. These are the live wires, so it turns the temperature controller can turn the temperature on and off going to the heat band. So that's it for now, but stay tuned as I try and make this thing better and easier to use and figure out what I can actually make with it.